Ma Pimpo Haiti, the Haitian diaspora living in the Haiti podcast with your guy, C Genty, and co-host. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking to my left, looking to my right. I don't see Marc Antoine. I'm sorry. Sorry, folks. I'm sorry, listeners. Marc isn't here tonight with this episode. We usually shoot on the weekends. We're doing something special. I had to have a real special guest with me. I had to change schedules around to get her on the podcast. And unfortunately, Marc won't be here today. So it's all good. It's all good. The episode we have upcoming, Marc is going to take a front and center role. So don't worry about that. Those Marc Antoine fans out there, don't you worry. Marc will be coming soon. But listen, so I have, as I alluded to, I have someone particularly important that I look forward to, passing the baton in just a second. And one thing you have to understand, guys, yes, the title of the show is the Haitian diaspora living in Haiti podcast. You can underline the diaspora Haitian. But the thing is, the truth of the matter is the mission of the show is to do what? It's twofold. It's to talk about Haiti in a different light, right? But also show that there is potentiality of things to do here, right? May it be business, may it be the not-for-profit sort of stuff, may it be, as our boy Marc Antoine's here to do. He's here to inspire religiously, the hearts and souls of people. However you want to engage in the country, you can do it, and the possibility exists. And this show is to talk and highlight about that possibility, because that's the only way the country changes. The country only changes when we take ourselves to task. We can't just sit on the sidelines and say it's the government. Everything is the government, or everything is a government. If it's not the Haitian government, it's the American government. It's this big conspiracy. I mean, listen, everybody has some responsibility. I'm not saying that's not the case, but this conversation is focused on you, the listener, and ultimately what you can do however you see yourself doing it. And I have someone, not Haitian. The last episode had African American, right? Nation of Islam, brother. This episode, we have a Dominican Republican. No, that's not how you say it. A Dominican. She'll correct me in a second. Don't worry. Someone who grew up on the Dominican Republic side and is now in Haiti. And this is important, guys, because someone, we share the same island. And a lot of us, there's a lot of Haitians who are doing incredible work in Dominican Republic, and there's a lot of Dominicans doing incredible work in Haiti, right? And I was so happy when I first reached out to her and she said she could come and talk about, the work she's doing, incredible work in construction, in building homes. She's helping rebuild the country as a Dominican, right? So with me today is someone I can't, Ana Contreras, and Ana can correct me. Ana, please get on. How are you, Ana? How are you?
Hi, Janti. I am very happy and pleased to be here joining you today. Mm-hmm. It's Ana Contreras.
Ana Contreras. See, I get the R's. I was afraid of the R's. That's why I added the N. But
yeah.
But Ana, thank you so much for being on. I know schedules are
a
tricky thing, and so, but you're here, and we have so much to talk about, because the dynamic. I can tell you, Ana, when I drop an episode on, I mentioned, no matter what I'm doing, if I mention Dominican Republic, oh my goodness, I have both sides coming at me, this and that, and I got some Dominican friends who come on and say this and that, and it's so I was like, you know what, let me have someone here that can really put me to task, right, and then really, explain, clarify, and challenge too. So some of the misconceptions and perspectives and ultimately, but most importantly, we're here to talk about your impact and what you're doing. So again, I'm very happy to have you.
Yes, there's a lot of misconception and very twisted information in between what's going on Dominicans and Haitians. But I am happy to be here and happy to say that I have overcome a lot of that. And that in the time that I have working in Haiti, I have actually realized that there's a lot of ignorance also behind all of what Dominicans think of Haitians and what Haitians think of Dominicans.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And I'm very happy to be here and to be able to say that.
And before I go any further, since you've been in Haiti for quite a amount of time, Kijan Creole là, lila, ou bon la
Oui,
donne?
oui,
Oh,
oui. Gardez, chef. C'est anti-cal seulement.
what you got?
Anti-cal.
Bago bolem. The anglais no émission hier, so bago bolem.
D'accord.
Had to put her past a little
D'accord.
bit though. Don't worry. so,
Yes.
so let's jump into it. So, Ana, you are Dominican, right? So walk us through
Yes.
that. You were born where Dominican and Dominican Republic, and how many years did you? Because I know a lot of Dominicans like to they spend some time in America too. So I don't know if you hip hop between two islands. So walk us through early Ana's life.
I was born and raised in Dominican Republic. I studied architecture. I did my bachelor in Dominican Republic, and my only time living in America was when I went to New York to get my master's degree at Columbia University.
Okay.
And we're talking about a year and a half only.
In and out.
So, besides that, all of my life I spent it in Dominican Republic, and except for the last 10 years that I've been basically working and living in Haiti.
Fantastic. So yeah, you're a true blue, red, and white
Yes.
Dominican, 100%.
Yes.
That's incredible. And
Yes.
so where did you grow up in Dominican Republic?
I grew up in Santo Domingo,
Okay,
in
the
the
capital.
main city.
Okay.
And my family comes from a country, a place that is very close by the city, and it's called Monte Plata.
Okay. Monte Plata.
That's where my family comes from, but I was raised in the city.
For the record, I've been to the Dominican Republic twice. In fact, one of the first videos I put on C Genti for a long time, and to this day is actually still one of my most top 5 viewed videos. Could have changed. I've dropped a lot of content since, but it's up to at least top 10 for sure. Is when my first trip to Dominican Republic, I went to Punta Cana. It was me. It was a boys' trip. We had a great
nice.
time, right? But then while I was there, because I was actually too, that trip was also served as my first foray into filming and producing some content. So Dominican Republic has the, funny enough, C Genti being a Haitian sort of focused thing, but the first thing I really put out there when I got started was Dominican Republic, right?
Nice. Well, I cannot wait for you to come back so we can have a really top one.
Right.
video.
You know what? Someday, because I really do want to travel the world, and Dominican Republic certainly is up there given the shared history, right? And so,
Yes.
and when I was Punta Cana, I met some Haitians there, and I was like, you know what? Me just wanting to engage and have a good conversation, I actually had a chance to interview 2 or 3 Haitians who were living there. You know what they told me, Ana? They said, listen,
What?
they said, hey, Dominican Republic is a fair place. They all, they didn't have a gun to their heads. They were just having a frank conversation. They said Dominican Republic, 90 to 95% of all Dominicans are fair, great people. They respect Haitians because they understand their work ethic. Because both the guys I spoke to, they spoke French, Creole, English, French, and then one guy even spoke Russian. There's a lot of Russians in Punta Cana. Everyone spoke Russian, right, and Spanish as well. So there's an understanding overall for what Haitians can provide and can contribute. And I was like, oh, that is great to hear. And even when I spoke to Dominicans, because as I was with myself, my cousin, my brother, they're all Haitian. And listen, I told folks we're Haitian. Oh, cool. Listen, they say they have a family or a cousin who's Haitian or a friend who's Haitian.
Yes.
Never had any feeling of animosity at all. So that was my experience with Punta Cana. And then I came back a few years, maybe a year or 2 years later, because I went to San Domingo, and I really wanted to see San Domingo. And so I took a bus out there. You can take a bus from Port-au-Prince to San Domingo, and I took a bus out there. Same thing. Had a great time. Went to Old Town, or the Colonial Town, or Colonial Zone, I think is what you guys call it. And
Yes.
yeah, and had a great time and flew back and no issues. And so I can tell you that at the individual level, there's nothing but love from Dominicans, no matter where you come from. And of course, it's there's a lot of work to do when you go to Dominican Republic and go back to Haiti. You say, okay, there's a lot of work to do, but from just a people perspective, I think it's grand. Did you feel the same as you going back and forth? Do you feel the same in terms of, even though when people get online, they say anything, they type anything. But do you feel overall the relations are pretty okay? Yeah.
I actually went to Punta Cana once, and I was impressed with the amount of Haitians that are working on resorts over there, precisely because of this ability that Haitians have to speak different languages. Haitians, like by default, they can speak French, Creole, English, and even some Spanish. So it comes like within their ADN to speak already, like to be able to communicate in different languages. And I was actually impressed by this. Um, as I told you at the beginning, there is a lot of misunderstanding in between the present relationship between Haitians and Dominicans, but it's all like part of an old story. There's been tensions in the past also between Dominican Republic and Spain, or between Dominican Republic and France, or things like that. But as for right now, I just think that we need to get to know each other better so we can get to build like a real relationship based on the fact that we live in the same island, and that's not going to change. So imagine that you have a sister or a brother and you are family and you live within the same house. That's just not going to change, like we just cannot change that. So we have to find ways to get to know each other better and to get to learn on how to take advantage on the fact that we are next to the other, and how we can um, grow within this reality.
Mm-hmm.
And when I when I got to Haiti the first time back in 2010, actually only 6 months after the earthquake, I was very impressed because I actually had like I didn't have much expectations, or I had no idea of where I was going. But I really thought that we would be more like at the same level in terms of a country, or in terms of of a city. I really thought that Haiti would be like more similar to what Dominican Republic today looks like, at least. And I was very impressed. Nevertheless, even though I arrived to a country that was like in a crisis, basically, I got to know so much people that were willing to give, either you were Dominican or wherever you were coming from, an opportunity to do whatever you were doing, because of course, you had to do a good job. So it was very interesting, to get to a country that it was very different from what you were expecting it to be, and also to meet so much people that were eager to have relationships with professionals that were willing to do a good job. Just
Fantastic,
that.
fantastic, fantastic. So that's your experience with Haiti and DR. So, but let's go a little more in your past. So you got your what did you get at Columbia University? You said you got your master's in architecture as well.
Yes, I got a
Mhm.
master's in advanced architectural
Okay,
design.
nice. So
Yes.
you really you have a strong foundation, obviously, in this construction, but more than that, because your family runs or has a construction. So you've been in construction, around construction for a while. Talk to us about that. How long has your family, or you've been involved in construction even before and after in
Yeah.
DR?
Yeah, I've been in construction for a while. My father is a civil engineer, so
Mm-hmm.
construction has been the family business for a
Mm-hmm.
while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even my grandfather used to build, so it's it's
Nice.
it's been a while. I basically grew on construction sites, joining my father
Nice. We
to do
share that,
business.
because my dad also was a civil engineer and
Oh,
dabbles and
nice,
dabbles as well.
nice,
But
nice.
so all over. I think you're the construction company, kind of residential, commercial, and but what then? When did you get involved? So you graduated Columbia University. So how did you integrate, particularly after you graduated? Like, how did that? Were you project managing? Like, how does that? How are you integrated?
Well, since before I graduated from my bachelor's degree, I was already working with my father.
Mm-hmm.
I was 19 when I did my first residential project in Santo Domingo with
Mm-hmm.
my father.
Okay.
He basically lent me a complete construction site and he said, "So this is what you have to design and this is what you have to build." I had no idea of like anything. And of course, with a father like mine, you could not like have any questions. Like you just had to know.
Right.
So he's been, I'm the oldest,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been always very demanding. Let's say he's been a very tough, dad. He actually wanted me to be a boy, but he got this, so so he
You
has
got
to
some,
like
got something better.
work with it. Well,
Right.
yeah, hopefully
So,
let's call it like that.
right,
So
right,
I
right.
was 19 when I designed and built my first residential project. It was a 48 apartment complex in Santo Domingo.
Ooh, we 48 as your
And
first project. Goodness
yeah,
gracious.
yeah, it was a big project. And my father, within that process, made me a company because he said that I was never going to work for anyone else. So he gave me a big project and he gave me a company that I had to already start managing. So I actually had no choice. So I
Hmm.
had to like be an entrepreneur or be an entrepreneur.
I hear you. I hear you.
And I started collaborating and working with him in different projects, residential projects mostly in Santo Domingo and even in La Romana. It's a touristical region near Punta Cana
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
And then I decided to go move to New York to get my bachelor's degree at Columbia University.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
And I was working a lot with my father but it's I wanted to do something on my own, something that was not related in any manner, let's say, to my family. And I didn't want to keep working with my dad. Papa, it's un
Can be
problème.
tense. Can be tense. Can be tense. I can
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. So I came back from New York. Even while I was in New York, I kept working and I kept the company running, remotely, long distance wise. And then when I came back and I was still working, someone invited me to Haiti and they'd say, "Well, we have some projects here, but we are engineers and we need an architect that can, do all the design part of the projects." And I was like, "Let's do it. Just tell me when, tell me where to be, and let's go." So that's how I got to Haiti, and Haiti gave me the opportunity to
Branch
do
off, do your own
something.
thing. Yeah. Hmm.
Exactly,
Hmm.
something that. And I remember that my father used to tell me all the time, like, when I was young like you, I was working at Pedernales. Pedernales is a region that is very close to the border.
Hmm.
I was doing 100 houses on my own, and I was only 25 years old, blah blah blah. He used to tell me that story all the time. So when they called me to go to Haiti, I thought, "Oh my God, I'm 25 years old and I can make it to Haiti. It's so much further away than Pedernales."
Hmm. Hmm.
So, it became just a big, very welcoming opportunity to me.
And I'm sure it's always good to be able to branch off, make your own name, and advance. Right? I'm sure it's very liberating. But
And
even
I,
before,
I didn't
go ahead.
know if it was going to go right or wrong. I just
Hmm.
knew that it was further. Like I was going to be able to go further than my father.
Awesome.
And maybe in a way, I don't know, keep him happy. So that was enough for me.
Now, before we fully transition into that side of things, there's one big piece of that I want to share with the audience is that for Dominican Republic, you ran you were in a competition and you won. Or sorry, you. Well, I don't know. I'll let you let us know how you did on that. But Miss Dominican World is what I want to say it was, and you go ahead.
Yes, well, I started working. I was very young, and I always had this curiosity, this I always wanted to be a queen, and I always wanted to be very, very girly in a way. So, but I started working very young, and since very young, I had like so much responsibility, and but I really wanted to fulfill that dream of becoming a queen, of being able to be in a beauty pageant representing my country and traveling around the world. So that's why it was only after I got my bachelor's degree as an architect that my parents allowed me to do so and to pursue my dream of becoming a beauty queen. So it's funny because I was in a beauty pageant and I was an architect already with a company, so it was very funny. I think that I was the only person that had that.
It's interesting. And most people, they do pageants growing up. And it sounds like you just kind of did it. Was it your first time, or you just won right away, or did you, try a time or two before you finally won?
I did it a couple of times.
Okay.
I'm very competitive, and I like to participate and to win. Like, why not?
Right.
So I did it a couple of times, but the first time I did Miss Dominican Republic, I was 21 and I was already an architect with an active company. Okay, but I still wanted to like run away from what I was and from everything that I have to face every day, and I wanted to pursue my dream. So I did it. And it didn't went very well. I got only to be top 15 or top 10 or something like that.
That's pretty good. I think out of so many competitors, that's great to be up there.
Yeah, but I still wanted to. I wanted to win, and I knew that I could do it. So I came back into the Miss Dominican Republic beauty pageant, and I was 24, still an architect, and still having an active company. I was doing my makeup and I was getting ready for pageants
while still managing
meetings, and I was still managing a construction company.
Wow.
And in the second time, I was still the only person that had this type of responsibilities,
Right.
So the second time went perfect, and I won the Miss Dominican Republic World title. So I got to travel to South Africa and represent my country.
Wow.
And that pageant was actually one of the longest pageants in history because it lasted 40 days. Wow. And we traveled to 3 continents because the first part of the pageant was in London. The second part was in the Middle East. We were actually in Abu Dhabi. And then the third part of the country, we were traveling around South Africa. Wow. I got to meet the president of South Africa in Pretoria, which is the capital. I traveled to Cape Town. I met Durban. I met Johannesburg. So it was an amazing experience. And I actually made it top 20 out of 120 contestants from around the world.
Wow.
So I don't know how I got there. These people were crazy. These people judging were crazy because there were girls that I was like, how am I gonna beat this? How am I gonna overcome this?
Yeah.
But it actually went very, very well, and I'm very happy that everything happened. And again, I was traveling around the world still with an active construction company in Dominican Republic.
Still managing.
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, all the time.
So let me run this back from our audience, just so you keep in track. She in 2004, she won Miss Dominican, and then competed in the Miss World pageant and got as far as top 20 before. But so that's incredible, and visit so many places. That's incredible. So you have someone, again, that work ethic is incredible. The fact that she was able to do this incredibly difficult competition, because again, it doesn't just measure how you look, it measures how you think, how you talk, and how you're contributing to the world as a whole, right? And that's why that competition is so important, because it's really showing all aspects of the incredibleness of women, because women, there are so many facets of what makes a woman so great, right? And so it's fantastic to have gone so far, because I mean for that year.
Yes, I was Miss Dominican Republic World 2009. from
Okay.
2009 until 2011. And then I
Okay.
got to Haiti in 2010. So when I got to Haiti, I was still
Miss Dominican World.
Miss Dominican Republic World. Yes.
Okay. So what is it? Break that down to us. What is that difference between Miss Dominican and Miss Dominican World? Is it two different competitions? Break that down to us.
Well, there is two very important pageants in the world, and one is Miss Universe,
Miss Universe. Mm-hmm.
and the other one is Miss World.
Okay.
So Miss Universe, it's more relevant within the en la parte oeste of the world, like in
Okay.
the west
Western
side
Hemisphere.
of the
Mm-hmm.
world, and then
Okay.
Miss World, it's more important in the east hemisphere of the world.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So, there are like several pageants in the world. So to go to everyone, each country has to select a candidate. So I was selected to go to Miss World, and Miss World, after the Olympics and after the Mundial de Fútbol, that's the soccer, the World Cup of soccer, is the third most watched TV event in the world.
Wow. Didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So
you
after
have the Olympics, you have the
Olympics,
World
World
Cup, and
Cup,
then you
and
have
then
Miss
Miss
World.
World. And so you were on there. And how far did you say? How far did you go on there? You got
Top 20
top 20. Very nice.
out of 120 contestants.
That's incredible. Hats off. So yeah, that really shows. And I saw some of the old photos too. You muscles were were there.
Yeah.
Woo!
Muscles came after though.
Oh, came after. Okay. All right, good stuff. So
Yeah.
that's so I wanted my audience to hear that about you, because that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to have someone to have those different experiences, really be a world traveler, and from that perspective, and then come back and not only to your country, but then also to what you're doing in Haiti. So tell us about that. Tell us about now that you came back from these world experiences. In fact, in 2009, 2011, that's when you actually were transitioning to Haiti and starting to do some things in Haiti. And you said somebody invited you to start building. So what was that first project, and ultimately, what kind of kept you here after that first project?
Well, I was invited to come to Haiti by some friends of my cousin. So basically, I was not the lead person in the in the group. I was just a person invited. I just wanted to come and just look for a way to not have to work in the family business anymore. And the first project that we had in Haiti was actually a vehicles showroom and a vehicles after sales service center. Okay, so within the process, we met this person that he sells vehicles, right? And he lost in the earthquake his showroom. He lost around 40 vehicles and he lost around 10 employees. Wow. In the earthquake. So he needed to quickly redo the showroom so he could keep doing his business. And he also needed to build the after sales service center. So after you buy a car, you need to be able to bring it to do
repairs.
the oil check and all the after sales business.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting, and I'm actually very grateful with this client because he gave us an opportunity to do something that I never in my life did before. It's not every day that you get to do a showroom for vehicles and for a very known brand like Audi, for example, and you get to design a workshop to fix cars. It was a very interesting experience, and I will be forever grateful with this client that actually gave us the opportunity to do our work and that's how we were introduced to Haiti, doing design and development of projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very lucky. I was very lucky, I must say, because when you get to a country where you don't know anyone, but you're trying to develop your career and to grow professionally, but you have no family or you have no one that like knows you for real. Clients, they have to become like friends and they have to become family in a way. It's not that I'm like in Haiti and I'm gonna have a situation. I'm gonna call my mom and I'm gonna be like, oh mama, come here now because I need you. you know so I'm also very grateful that we had a very significant and good professional opportunity to develop this project, but also we met really good people, and this client really became family in a way, and
Mm-hmm.
it was very nice.
So that was the first, and then so how does that usually work for you to get other clients? Is it the word of mouth? Yeah, and then it kind of you get more and more. Is that how it is mostly? Or you like
Well,
advertise?
so at the beginning, I had to still work in Dominican Republic with my father, like it or not, so I could get money to be in Haiti, just getting to know people. Okay, we had to pay, very expensive hotels because
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember, like after the earthquake,
There's nothing.
hotels and rent, it went like up like
Mhm,
crazy.
mhm, mhm.
So a lot of hotels, like you had to pay almost $200 per night, so
Yikes.
you could be in Port-au-Prince. So I still had to work in Dominican Republic, so I could have money to come to Haiti, stay in Haiti, and just be around getting to know people, because it's like that. Like, you have to know the people, you have to understand the culture, and you have to fall in love with it if you want to do the business. I don't know if anyone had another type of experience, but to win um, the trust, to be able to be included in the market, you have to get to know the people, the culture, you have to understand it. And
Adds
that
up.
requires time and that requires an investment. So I had to work in Dominican Republic so I could have money, so I could pay my hotels in Haiti, so I could stay around and just get to know people. And this went on for a while, And yes, mouth to mouth, from getting one project and doing a very good job, we could move to the next one. Because in Haiti, you have only few opportunities, if not one, of doing a good job. You don't do things right from the beginning and you're out.
Mhm,
It can be as easy as that.
mhm,
You're out. And then also, when you're young, you have to do things right because you're going to be within this business for a while. So you have no other choice. If you're old and you are, not working anymore, you can do whatever you want. But if you're here, if you're new and you're going to do this for a while, you have to do the investment of time, of resources, and of doing a good job.
mhm. And I love that you said that. I love you that you said that you have to be here because that's one of the things. That's one of the first things I tell people, and I repeat this all the time across all my different platforms and things I do. When I'm talking about the strategy to come to Haiti and be successful, is that you should not just decide, wake up one morning and come to Haiti and start doing business. Haiti is a place where you very much need to really think about, okay, how am I going to come in the country? How am I going to network and who can I meet and do that slowly over time. Over time, you do that. And then once you feel as if you've made the progress necessary, then you pull the trigger. Once you've re-familiarize yourself. And that goes even for a Haitian who's been here, who grew up and then left for five so many years, you got to reacclimate yourself. And especially a Haitian diaspora who perhaps left when they're really young, like me. I left when I was 3 years old. And there's other Haitians who never been here. So you guys really need to take a page from Ana and what I've been telling you for ages, which is, take your time, to make the investment of both your time and money to really engage and really get to know people, right? So thanks for that. So that's how you grow people. That's how you met folks. So what I wonder now is really the perspective. One thing, perspective, of course, as someone who's from, a foreigner outside, right? Even diaspora, they call us blanc, as someone as foreigner, right? But what I'm curious to know is, tell us that perspective from the woman perspective, as someone, I know even from the DR, I'm sure it was a challenge to sort of make your footing in a man industry. And so I'm certainly looking forward to you to tell me in general about that. And then 100%, like how that impacted your experience in Haiti.
Well, yeah, that was an issue. Sometimes I think that if I would have been a man, a lot of things would have been easier, If I would have been like John the Builder that arrived to this unknown country, a lot of things would have, well, maybe not easier, but at least faster. I think that it took some time to like start getting, let's say, substantial projects and clients. It took some time also because I'm a woman. It's hard to have this 25-year-old woman coming to meet you, with her crown of Miss Dominican Republic, being like, oh, hi, I'm the person that's going to build your house. And, oh, I'm going to do a good job. Oh, and don't worry, I can wear boots and I can supervise men doing their job. So it was a real challenge. But, I actually felt in love with that idea. I was completely seduced by the idea of being in this unknown country where my family had nothing to do with, where no one knew of my, no one that knew me knew this background. And I was a woman and I had like all these challenges like in front of me, and I was seduced by it. I felt in love with the idea. And I said, okay, I'm gonna give Haiti everything I got. All of my professional experience and also all of my, competitiveness and all of my love, because when you get involved with it, when you want to learn about it, when you want to learn about the culture, I think that's kind of loving it. And I said, I'm going to give Haiti all I have, because eventually I want Haiti to give all back to me. So it's kind of that's kind of the way I felt about this, and the way I feel about doing a lot of things. I I am a strong believer that if you want to get everything back from something, you have to at least try and give everything to it. So being a woman, it was challenging. Don't get me wrong. I actually have colleagues that are men and got to Haiti after me, like 5 years after me, to be very specific, and they got bigger projects and more projects before me. Okay, and I know that it has to do with a gender issue also. But I think that once you overcome that, and that you stay and just work your ass behind that, it all comes back. Women are more resistant than men. We're not stronger. Men are stronger. But women, somos más resistentes. Y somos más resilientes. I don't know how to say that in English.
Resilience.
Resilient. So I think that it takes a little bit more of time for us, but we just have to stay there. Right. And everything will eventually make sense and just come back to us.
For what it's worth, as someone who's in many business lines in Haiti and only growing every year, and I've had that opportunity to do business on many fronts, I say this openly to anyone who wants to hear it. The most serious-minded people I've had a chance to do business with in Haiti, never the men, never the men. It's always women from who different walks of life. No matter what, I always get a fairer deal. a much more logical conversation, and it's always to business, right? So I always preferred, honestly, doing business.
And
The lead person is a woman. But now I'm curious to know, Anna, how the other aspects of running construction, particularly to Haiti. As someone who's done massive projects in DR, I'm curious to know, like, what are some of the positives of the construction process and market in Haiti, and what are the difficulties in terms of sourcing, in terms of skill sets? Because I know one thing you hear a lot, in particular when like the middle management level for a lot of different industries, is difficult to find, those very niche skill sets usually has to come. So I don't know, just talk about how have you found a lot of labor issues, and in general, the sourcing and execution part of running a business, like, construction business in Haiti. Walk us through that, the differences.
well, in Dominican Republic, Haitians are already a big and significant part of the labor in construction industry. So I was familiar with having to deal with Haitians when it comes to great works or things like that. This was not new. Uh, it's Haiti can be very limited sometimes in terms of supplies or in terms of logistics. Like, for example, you are developing a project up the mountain in Taras, and you have that the company, they have to bring you cement, like the cement, only 100 bags per 100 bags, because that's the only truck that can go all the way up there.
Like say the smaller truck, yeah,
Yeah, a smaller truck, because Port-au-Prince has this like a valley type of city condition. So this was very new to me, because in Santo Domingo you don't have that. Santo Domingo, everything is very much flat. Okay, so what you think that can become kind of an issue, because you will have to, your project will last longer, but at the same time, up there where you're doing your project, there's an amazing view, a view that you don't have anywhere in Dominican Republic, because you don't have a massive city like Santo Domingo or Santiago with these conditions. So this is something that, yeah, it's like a pain, but it's beautiful at the same time. Uh, Also, sometimes the fact that, when you're developing a project, you might have to deal with quelque manifestation, for example, or any condition of the system that will make you have to slow down, and will make your project take a little bit more of time. Also, like, these type of things were completely new to me. I remember when there was like a lot of issues in the Arcaye area around 2015, and we were doing a couple of beach houses over there. So we had to deal with the drivers of the materials having to say something low. No, gade, madame, gay manifestation or Arcaye, so I cannot make it there.
Yeah.
And things like this were also completely new to me and challenging, but at the same time, like Côte des Acadiens, like that area, those beach houses, it's beautiful.
It is.
And the type of projects also we got to do, they're amazing. So yeah, it's challenging, but at the same time, it's very rewarding. Also, there's a lot more, options for supplies in Santo Domingo, for example. In Haiti, you have more limited options, and instead of having like 10 suppliers, you have 3 suppliers, but you have 3 suppliers and you get to do the business with the owner of the business.
Nice.
And then this person also gets to become your friend and gets to recommend you to 8 more clients.
Nice.
When I go to a store in Dominican Republic, I don't get to know the owner of the store. I don't get to do a project for him. It's different. So yes, Haiti can be more limited, but you get to deal with key people, with the people running the businesses. And then this makes like a chain of you being able to do more business because you're doing business with the limited business that there is in Haiti. So again, it's challenging, but it's very rewarding.
And that's one thing that folks have to understand here, because a big thing what you're saying right now is reputation. Reputation is important, right? Because when you are someone who, you know, uh, is doing wrong, word's gonna spread really quick if you're, with the wrong things you're doing. And so a lot of folks are very quick to, say very disparaging things about people in the business community here in Haiti. And right or wrong, I don't, I'm not, that's a different segment to talk about. But I can just tell you that when it comes to what it takes to, advance here, no matter what business line you are, it's important to understand that face to face, as you interact with all the different parts of it, your reputation. So
Yeah.
so tell us about some of the because to be in construction means you got to know a little bit about real estate, and that's
Yes.
one thing that folks really ask a lot about from me is they're interested in getting to real estate, and folks know real estate is pretty dicey. There's a recent story now as we're shooting of a recent land dispute that happened in Vivi Michel. Just really had, I won't say the name of the person or anything, but those who know. And so it can get pretty dicey. So tell us about your experiences with real estate or your clients' experiences, and really, in your opinion, what's the best way to most safely handle that part? Because before you can do construction, you got to get the real estate in order. So what's the best strategy in your?
Yeah. Well, because we have worked in so many places and because of the way we work, it's very important for me to have some knowledge about real estate. Not every design and construction company gets involved with the land. There are architects that will only do the lines and the drawing for you, and there are builders that will only put the blocks. They don't care your land, how much it costs, where it's located, or any of that.
Mhm.
But that's not our case. Like once I get a client, usually we want to produce more than that. We want to produce a better living or a better business, because you get clients that want to do business, and you get clients that want to do the house of their dreams. So for me to fulfill that, I have to know about real estate. I have to understand location. I have to understand cost of land. Okay. And I have to know realtors also. So basically, I have we. I am not a realtor, like I don't sell land, but I have made strong relationships with people that do. People I know, people I trust, and people that are, let's say, certified within the market because they're known. So if you do not have a land and you want to do the house of your dreams, either at the beach or at the mountain, you want to get a person that understands the market and that is going to give you something that is certified, and that you are not going to have to buy it twice,
Mhm. Mhm.
because these are the things that can happen in Haiti. Anyone can come and want to sell you a land, and then the papers, someone else has it, so you will
Right.
have to buy it twice. So
Right.
you just have to like connect with the right people, I will say, that will guide you through the process of acquiring a property. This is very important. And then what we do starts after you have that property. So then we get to design and to take from paper to reality your dream, whatever you have envisioned for the house of your dreams. And when you're making a business, because it's different, when you're making a business and you want to develop a project of apartments that you're going to rent or anything like that, again, we have to connect with the realtor and we have to do a feasibility study. You have to understand the market and the area where you are going to develop that project. Because maybe in that area, the rent it's going to be $1,000 per apartment or $500. So I'm going to give you a cost of construction, but to complete the business plan, because this is part of my interest also, because if I don't give you a project with a good business, I'm not doing my job.
Yep.
We have to understand the market and do a feasibility study and understand how much you're going to invest, but also when you're getting your money back and how long it's going to take for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to get involved with real estate to understand location, costs, and also to get to know people that are doing their job, selling properties and understanding the land in Haiti.
Great points you brought up. So one thing that I'm curious, really, as you're mentioning that, is construction. There's laws, right? Supposed to be. So, what are some of the most annoying legal things you have to come up with? Because, for example, in America, like a lot of things you can't do until you get a permit. For example, I don't think Haiti has a permit system like that, but still, I'm curious to understand what are some of the more legal frustrations construction wise you run into as you're trying to do a project.
It's actually not very frustrating in Haiti. The regulations are not as demanding like in America or even in Dominican Republic. This is good news and also bad news. I think that this is something that is going to evolve in the future. As the system gets stronger, regulations are going to get stronger. When you do a basic project, for example, usually clients, they have to take care of the permits. And the permits imply to connect with the mayor, and the mayor will come. You have to give them the drawings, and the mayor will charge you a fee for developing that project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so depending on the area, like it's different if you're doing a project in Vivi Michel or if you're doing a project in Caracol, in Ocap, up there.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the mayor, the fee and the parameters will be different. But you do have this type of regulations. And then there are also some structural regulations that the system is not very much demanding on, but it's very important. And usually what I recommend to our clients is that they have to get a supervision. So I will provide you a project and a certified structural design that you need to get a professional of this to revise it. Okay, so we can agree on everything. So I'm not only doing whatever I understand is right and is certified, but I also give to my client this advantage of them to get another person that will make sure that what we are going to build, it's designed and it's made with con base, like properly made.
Right.
In countries like Dominican Republic or in America, you will have a supervisor coming to the site and making sure that everything it's
From the government.
from the government.
Mm-hmm.
In Haiti, this is not it works differently. Usually clients, they just get they hire a supervision that will take care of this.
Okay.
The system, I think that it will get there, but it's not there yet. To provide this type of regulations.
So how do you? So I think you already answered it, but this one I want to be clear because I know the big thing after the earthquake is size. Building things that are seismically solid. So how do you go about that yourself?
We have a structural engineer that designs the project, and he is certified to give you an a parasismic certification.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But there are also parasismic engineers in Haiti also that you can work with. So this is something that it's very open to the client. So I can give you the architecture and you can decide with who you want to work. If you want to work with very known parasismic engineer Miyamoto in Haiti, if you want to work with him, I don't have any, it's right. Or if you want to work with the engineer that I recommend you, it's also right. But you know what? The society took more awareness of construction and structural design. So even though maybe the system is not demanding and very regulatory when it comes to this, clients are.
Right. So
And a client will be very careful on this note. And, when they come to us and they request a project, they will require their parasismic certification and all of that.
okay. So I guess what I have a lot of other questions I want to ask because there's so much because for example when you construct in Haiti, for example, there's some things you have to do that you don't ever have to do in any other country. For example, you have to dig your own water, or your water is held, and even sewage as well. There's you have to usually dig your own hole, even though there's more and more places that the NEPA is starting to connect at least water lines to, anyways, water lines. But that's one of the things folks really never don't know. Heck, I didn't know until I heard it myself after living here so many years, that Port-au-Prince is the largest city in the world that doesn't have central connected sewage for the vast majority of its folks. And it's growing there's more and more places now having water lines. At least water's coming from a central place somewhere in the community from the NEPA, which is the central entity that provides that. So let me maybe finish with that. Like some of these very unique under development challenges, what does your company do differently in that space? Like, how do you? Mm-hmm.
It's actually very similar in Dominican Republic, the whole sewage system. Yeah, like the only area that there's like two areas of the city. The colonial zone has a collecting sewage system that was made like back in the colonial days.
Okay.
And there's like maybe one or two other, neighborhoods of Santo Domingo that have that type of system. So it's very similar what we do with the sewage in Haiti. And yeah, we have to dig a well for dark water.
Mm-hmm.
And then the clean water, there are places that you don't even get water there. Mostly at the beach area, we have to have a reservoir that our clients are going to fill, having to purchase the water from trucks because there's no water coming, and you cannot dig in the ground because the water is going to come out salty.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want clean, sweet water, let's say, you have to buy it from a truck. But this happens mostly at the beach area.
Mm-hmm. And since some places in the city, I remember I was talking in OCOP, and I had a chance to speak with the representative at the that new hotel that was built very recently. Satama, yeah. And I was talking to them. I out of nowhere, I just had this question that come up. Because I know I was taking long showers, long hot showers. And I asked them, so hey, how's the water situation work here? And listen, we get as much as 6 big water trucks a day. And for folks who don't know, that's like 3,500 goods. So that's maybe $30 or $40 each trip. So that's, if they're saying 6 a day, that's maybe $300-400. Whew. Yeah, that's why your ticket's so expensive, folks. Don't be getting mad at expensive hotel tickets when you guys come in. You're like, oh, this should be cheaper. No, it's very expensive to do some operations like water. So certain something to keep in mind.
Actually, one truck of water to go up Montagnoir, it's actually 8,000 goods.
Ooh, wow. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's another reason.
They're only spending 36,000, it's good.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's true. So the last question I want to leave you with, Ana, is the future. Where do you see the future of construction in Haiti? And ultimately, how do you see your place in that? How do you see your role, your company's role in Haiti's future? Is it skyscrapers? Where is Haiti going?
Look, I actually appreciate the fact there is not a lot of skyscrapers in Haiti, I appreciate the fact that there's a lot of people wanting to develop residences, and that there's a lot of residential areas to take advantage of the amazing views up in the mountain. That is actually very unique and something that I really like about Haiti, Port-au-Prince, to be precise. As for construction, I believe that people are becoming more confident about wanting to develop their land, about wanting to develop projects. Maybe they feel more confident also about the stability of the system. And, it will always get back to that. How stable is the system and how much the system will allow me to start building something that I will be able to end it and then to rent it. So I usually don't like going political, but this question, like it's like mixed up, in a way. So that's as for construction. Even though of the situation and the circumstances, I get clients every day. I get people wanting to develop the house of their dreams, and I keep people wanting to develop a business, which keeps me feeling very eh, with a lot of hope that actually, even though now we're going through a world crisis or sometimes the system is not working, people, they still have to live, and they're living paying a rent, so they want to do their house. And then these people, they will do their house either way. The people wanting to do the business, that will kind of slow down and then will depend on the system being more stable. But the people wanting to live, that's not going to change. So that's as for construction and developing projects. As for myself, I've been here already for 10 years. It was very hard to get here and to stay here. So I'm just not going to go now. And like, even my husband, he's my partner today. So I got married with a Dominican and we're both working in Haiti. Once, we still don't have kids, but I know for sure that my kids, they're going to learn and write in French.
Awesome.
Okay, so I don't know if it's going to be in Santo Domingo or if it's going to be in Haiti, but they're going to learn how to say bonjour, how to say je m'appelle, and how to say ça va, merci, all of that in French, when they learn to read and write. Because their Spanish and the English, it's a lot better than mine. And I am already doing business in Haiti with my family. So that for sure gives me a certain future continuing to do this. And I have also met along the way friends, co-workers, and employees that really also keep inspiring me. Like, for example, I have a driver, Monsieur Alex. Monsieur Alex, he started being like a rough worker of the construction. He started like working with the rock and, pelle, mato, just getting fatra in the construction site and things like this. And one day I needed a driver, and he said that he had a license. So he started driving. This was like 4 years ago. Today, this person is my right hand. He's doing absolutely everything. He has become an operation manager. So, and then he's one, but then there's also more people that kind of like tied me to the idea of having to keep developing projects in Haiti so we all keep growing together. And I already have the family. I already count with this team. So, and Bebe, the clients are already coming on their own. So we're going to be here for a while.
Awesome. I love it. You're here to stay, is what I'm hearing, Anna. That's awesome to hear. And you also said that the future, you see it for sure in the coming years, without a doubt, it's going to be residential. And I agree with you, because when you have over 11 million people and such huge gaps in the amount of people with homes and folks wanting to come back to as well, I mean, that's certainly where the future is. I agree with
We're
you.
actually, and I'm going to make a parenthesis, like give you like something new. We're actually working with a client on a low income housing project. Okay,
That's
because
great.
I have also studied the markets and the deficiencies and the proportions, and then what's the bigger target and what's the smaller target. So this is also something that we are already working on.
That's awesome. And I agree with you. Getting low income options is very important, right? Because, so many folks are makes, moderate income and they need a chance to get in there. So that's where we're going to end it. I think I learned so much about construction, so much about the Dominican Republic perspective. I learned so much about the perspective of a woman in a male dominated industry. I learned so much about what it takes to be successful
in a male dominated world.
Correct. Listen, I can, I see why you say that, right? And so to be successful in that domain, in that specific domain, and in general, it takes a certain amount of grit and tenacity, and so to see that perspective, get that perspective from you was very eye opening, and most importantly too, I think it's about understanding that no matter what industry you're in, there's certain fundamental things you have to do, and that is network. Don't be afraid. You have a reputation. Make sure you deliver no matter what you do and who you're interacting with. So that's something we all can take.
Or what you sacrifice and do things right.
Exactly. Do things right. So I learned a lot, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing this podcast, is bringing folks with these perspectives and to learn quite a bit. And I'll leave you, Ana, with the final word. What do you want to leave folks with as a final idea or thought?
Well, I am Dominican that has been working and living from Haiti the last 10 years. And I am very grateful of that. Haiti, it's filled with situations, but it's also filled with opportunities. And I am very grateful, and Haiti has made me 10 times more of a professional than what I would have been working with my family in Dominican Republic, precisely because of all of these situations. So Haiti has taught me to be patient, to just not stop, and to see further, to look behind the situations and to understand the real opportunity and the real potential of circumstances where no one else sees them. And I would really like this to spread and to have a lot more people understanding this instead of complaining, and just getting the job done no matter what.
I love it. And the name of your company, Arco, ARCO, and folks can reach out to you for projects, bids, and more information. Your website, I believe, is arco.com.
.do.
Yeah. Right? www.o.do. All right. Yes. And you reach out to her. She responds pretty quick, and she'll give you an idea of how to help you with your project. Right.
Yes,
and again, you do architectural design, you actually do construction. What else those are the two main things. I want to make sure folks really understand all the things your company offers.
Yes, we bring projects from paper to reality. It can be a project from scratch. It can be a renovation. It could be a master plan. It can be residential or even commercial.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So you heard that. www.arco.do. Okay.
Yes.
And I want to thank so much for folks who've listened this far. If you got this far and are able to finish up the podcast, thank you. Remember, if you like this episode, like what we're doing here, make sure you hit that subscribe, because we're on every platform. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. So wherever you're watching it, make sure you hit that like button. To help those algorithms push it out to people who can appreciate this information. Share it. Make sure you share it. Make sure you subscribe, hit follow, however it is. And of course, we're here, especially during this COVID times. We got a lot awesome folks since I can't be out shooting new content. So we're getting an opportunity where folks are also sitting inside to share their perspectives. So when we get out of this COVID, we can hit the ground running, and of course still be doing this podcast to help with what Haiti needs, which is a new conversation, a new way to think about Haiti. And at the end of the day, a new way to think about Haiti. So again, Ma Pimpo Haiti, the Haitian Diaspora Living in Haiti podcast, another episode in the books. Marc Antoine will be back next week. And thank you so much. Until we're back at it again, we'll be back at it again. Peace.